Found $4,000 in a Walmart parking lot today. I always said that if it happened to me, I'd take it. If I found a bunch of money somewhere, I'd take it. But you don't know until it actually happens. I pulled in a spot, and laying there in a heap was $4,000. Hundreds, fifties. I looked around, reached down and stuffed it all into my glove box. Drove straight home while checking my rear view, shaking with excitement. And then it set in. I knew I couldn't keep it. I called the store, asked if someone was looking for money. Turns out it belonged to a guy who was there with his granddaughter, and he was distraught. I returned the money. And everyone was surprised, and everyone was telling me how I would be blessed. But honestly, what was I going to do? What would you do? I think your experience was very human. Thanks for sharing it. When I think about situations like these and how I would react, I often picture myself as the party who lost the item or money. I would be devastated if I lost $4,000, it's not a small sum. If that happened to me, I would hope someone would be kind enough to return it. I would like to be that for someone else. I feel like this is a decent way to operate through life in general, putting yourself in other people's shoes. This has helped me immensely, not only with how I treat others but how I view people as well. I find I'm much less judgmental, more likely to understand where someone is coming from and have empathy for them, and I'm just kinder and more thoughtful. I think if everyone would simply do their best to look out for one another, the world would be a better place. Someone should create a rule about this, and maybe since it's so good, they could call it the golden rule or something. Haha. The reason why I didn't just refer to the golden rule, which is, of course, treat others the way you want to be treated, is because I've met jerks who twist it, saying stuff like, well, I wouldn't care if somebody treated me that way, the way I'm currently treating someone else, so why should I change? Also, the phrase treat others the way you wish to be treated can ultimately be limiting in perspective because of that, since it just focuses on the way you see and do things. I think putting yourself into someone else's shoes is a better phrase because people are often different and might want/do/think things differently from the way I want/do/think. It also asks me to understand new perspectives and to respect that. I agree. I really dislike the idea of treating people the way I want to be treated, because I am a different person than anyone else and they are different than anyone else and so on, and everyone needs different things. The things I need are not necessarily the same things other people need, but I should still try to treat them how they need to be treated. I really like your phrase for that reason. It's called empathy and it's what good people have. You're good people. I picked up a dog shit that was not from my dog. Ira Pete, another dog, that I've never met, shed on the ground. And I picked it up and took it home in my car. Am I good people? No, because you didn't call the store and ask if any old men were looking for their misplaced dog shit. Give me a phone number, and I'll call and ask them if they lost their dog's shit. I'm bluffing. You fucking killed me, mate. Still laughing. I'd return and also the guilt would just eat away at me if I didn't. Honestly though, there's no reason why that guy should be walking about with $4,000 in a Walmart parking lot or with that much cash on him to begin with. God forbid someone robs him or something. Hopefully that guy learns from his mistake and thankfully he had someone as nice and honest as you to return it. I've found wallets full of cash before, and it reminds me of the time I used self-checkout and got a couple $100 cash back, then left in a hurry and forgot the money. Realized that about a mile down the road and came back, and the person behind me in line had turned it in instead of taking it. I was a single parent of 2 young children and that was my FAFSA money. I needed it badly, and I was so relieved and grateful because I would have been so fucked without it. I could never put someone through that. I could never be selfish and devastate someone by taking something that wasn't mine. I would probably do the exact same as you. Get excited for a minute, then realized I couldn't live with myself knowing there's probably someone out there who is just distraught because they just lost 4K. Man. Fuck. A year worth of the meds I need to survive. I think I would take it. It would eat me up inside, but god damn it. Fuck, I feel bad just thinking about it. A poor old man losing all his money, and me just taking it and running away. That's fucking horrible. Hey, desperate times. Not that it makes it right, but I can understand that. I would just be taking it for personal gain, and that's not right. I don't have any debts to pay off, just some extra for once, and that's not worth screwing someone over. I'd really like to think that I would do the same. I know my immediate instinct would be to keep it, but I think the guilt would get the best of me. On the other hand, I've lived with guilt before. This guy here finding 3K in a car park and keeping it. Getting ahead shouldn't mean that someone else has to fall behind. Said no billionaire ever. I saw a young kid crying outside of Walmart. When I asked him why he was crying, he told me he had lost $200. I felt really bad for him, so I gave him $40 out of the $200 I had found about 10 minutes earlier. When God blesses you, I believe you should share that blessing with others. That was very generous of you. I once stayed at a hotel while traveling for work, and on my last day there I caught a glimpse of something sparkling on the floor. I looked closer and saw that stuck in the carpet was what looked to me like a diamond earring. Money was really tight at the time and I thought about keeping and selling it. When I checked out, I gave them my room key, and then handed over the earring and told them that I found it on the floor in my room. I don't know if it ever got back to its proper owner, but what made me hand it over was thinking about how much my wife cherishes the jewelry that I have given her over the years and how devastated she would be if she lost something like that. All this to say, Op, you did the right thing. Something similar happened to me at work once. I'm a quality control tech at a processing plant, and as I was leaving out for the day and headed towards the front gate, some guy in front of me reaches into his pocket for something, maybe his phone. And as he pulls his hand back out, he doesn't notice that a whole wad of cash came out with it. It falls on the ground right in front of me. Not sure how much it was, but probably at least a few hundred in $20s. It was Friday, so it was payday. My immediate reaction is to bend down, pick it up, and as I do so I call out to him loudly, because he was walking pretty quickly, probably eager to get to his car. He looks back over his shoulder, almost seeming irritated at the interruption, until I hold the bundle of bills up and tell him he dropped it. Shock shows on his face for a moment, followed by relief, and he thanks me profusely. It hit me later that, I could have just picked it up and not said anything. I make more than a production worker. But not a lot more. An extra few hundred would definitely help out. But I also knew why I couldn't do that, why my immediate reaction was to yell for him to stop. That $200 or $300 was his rent payment, his car payment, his groceries. Something. I don't carry cash like that, but if I was to lose that much out of a weekly paycheck, it would hurt like hell. No way could I do that to someone else. That was his money that he had worked for all week, not mine. And hell, just seeing the relief on his face, knowing that I helped out, that was good enough.